It's a matter of living in my present.
What do you think? How do you think, you look at something like Taylor Swift and the Eras tour and just so much is going on, like how do you think music has changed like from the days that you started, back in the 70s to today?
We do not have enough time. Well, you know what? I am a, you know, I was always, I always liked Taylor Swift and her music because I'm good friends with Nathan Paul Chapman, who was her original producer and worked with her in the early days. Um, but I have become a massive fan. What she has accomplished musically and commercially is unprecedented, and she's really something. And she just keeps getting better and better. And that to me, that's a mark of a true artist, someone who not only can be successful on a commercial level, but is pushing her creative boundaries. So I have to say that as much as I liked her in the past, now I'm definitely I'm an old male Swiftie.
You're a Swiftie. I love it. What about, I know on the Masked Singer, like, if you had stayed in the competition, you do kind of plan your songs ahead of time. Like, was there a song you were looking forward to singing? And like, one of my favorite songs of yours from the past is You've Lost That Loving Feeling. I know that's a cover. If you could do another cover, like if you with anyone, what would it be?
Wow, that's an interesting song. Well, to tell you the truth, right after The Masked Singer, I went in and recut Walking in Memphis, and I did it as an EDM dance song, and I'm going to release it eventually. Not right now because I'm releasing another song in a few days, but it came out really cool. I had this idea that I could turn it into a kind of an EDM song, so I'm gonna release that probably maybe in January.
How interesting. I can't even picture that as an EDM dance
It's
song.
pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
That is really cool. One of the highlights in your career for me was, you look back to like Live Aid and We Are the World. Like, it's just that was like one of the first things of its kind at that time. Like, do you have like a specific memory that sticks out from recording We Are the World or Live Aid?
Both, they were both incredible, historic moments in the history of music. I remember We Are the World, where if you see the big group of people all singing together, where I was standing, Ray Charles was right in front of me on my off my left shoulder, and Bob Dylan was right behind me off my right shoulder, and two of my favorite artists of all times. And here I am kind of in the middle between the two of them. And I thought to myself, a moment like this will never happen again, So I was been always try to be aware of these special moments, when they're happening so they don't just, kind of go by. In terms of Live Aid, just the fact that we got to close the show in Philadelphia, and it was the first time a music concert was simulcast around the world. That's a groundbreaking event. We got to back Mick Jagger and Tina Turner. So the whole thing was just incredible. The backstage, if you could only experience who was backstage and what was going on backstage, it was incredible. So everybody who was anybody was there, and it was really great.
Wow. I love that The Masked Singer, has had so many different musical talents throughout its 10 seasons, some of which have been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But what was that like for you, like as far as career accomplishments? Like, where does that fall for you?
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is without a doubt a great thing for your career because it really puts you in a place in people's perception. But to be honest with you, a few years before the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Daryl and I were inducted into the American Songwriters Hall of Fame. And I always like to say that if we hadn't written the songs we wrote, we wouldn't be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So to me, the Songwriters Hall of Fame was a very, very important thing to be inducted into. Not to diminish the importance of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame at all, but the Songwriters Hall of Fame was very important.
Wow. Because I now went through, because, knowing I was going to sit down and talk with you, I remember when you were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I went down a rabbit hole of just sticking with the 80s, since that's when you guys, you kind of catapulted. These are some names of people that are not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Who do you think is like most deserving out of like Lenny Kravitz is not in it, the B-52s, NXS, Billy Idol, Motley Crue? These are a lot of heavy hitters that are not in the Rock and Roll Hall of
Uh,
Fame.
Billy Idol for sure should be in there. But all that they're all worthy. I love the B-52s. I just saw them a couple weeks ago. Um, I got to do a song with Billy Idol at Bonnaroo in 2013. Uh, I mean, look, they're all great, and they've all, I mean, who's to say who's more worthy? It's one of those things.
What about, well, now you're doing some EDM. Is there a type of music that you haven't really touched upon? Maybe it is EDM that you kind of, as you produce new music, like that you kind of want to venture into?
I haven't done any banjo trance music. Other than that, I think I've covered a lot of ground. I've got a new single that comes out in a few days called Get Your Smile On. And it's a song that I recorded at home on my laptop. And I've never released a song that I've done totally on my own on a laptop. And it's the downloads for that song are going to benefit Teen Cancer America. So I'm really excited about that. I love the fact that I can make music and put music out for people, and hopefully that'll help. It's for such a great cause. So that's a good thing.
Do you ever, you mentioned you were in LA for the Masked Singer. A lot of your friends live there. I know I've seen interviews with you before where, you talked about, and even on the Masked Singer, you did bring this up as part of your clue package, that like at the height of fame, people would think you have it all, but fame could be like a double-edged sword, right? So you kind of left it all behind for a quieter life. Do you ever, I mean, you look back, do you ever say, I miss LA? I split my time between New York and LA. I could see why no one would ever miss LA, but I'm just curious what your opinion is.
Well, believe it or not, I've never lived in LA, but I spent tons of time. Daryl and I recorded 3 albums out in LA in the mid 70s. So we did spend a lot of time out there. But I just have some great friends out there. I'm a car person. I collect vintage cars, and I've got a friend of mine who builds cars, and we visit together. And I've got a lot of friends in the music business and the film business. So being out in LA during the Masked Singer was fun for me because I'd be out there and I'd be at the Masked Singer during the day, and I go out with my friends for dinner, and I go, "Hey, well, how come you're in town?" And I'd be, "Oh, yeah, I'm just going. There's this TV thing I'm trying to work on, and I just make some random, vague comment about why I was there, and then the next week I'd come back, and they go, weren't you just here last week? Why'd you come back? Oh yeah, it's still going on. It's one of those things, right? It's a pilot. It's going to take a while to figure it out. So.
Well, to that point, have you heard from anyone? Because listen, I mean, as the show is going on, look, you've been guests for like Rick Springfield, John Cougar. I think Willie Nelson was in there, Bob Seger. Have you heard from
That's
any?
crazy.
Right? I mean, I think in Billy Joel, I forgot who said Billy Joel. Were
Yeah.
you guest like as you were going on? Did you hear from any of your famous friends where people are like, I know you're the Anteater?
No, 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 no. I haven't heard from any of my famous friends. But I just thought it was funny when they said Willie Nelson because no one sounds like Willie Nelson.
No one sounds, I mean, and I'm horrible at guessing. I mean, when I heard Billy Joel, I thought maybe I heard a little Billy Joel in you, but what do I know?
Yeah.
Did you, because you have performed so much in your career, like, was there something you learned about yourself as a performer from The Masked Singer? I mean, obviously you're performing in an anteater costume. That's different, but was there something else you learned about yourself as a performer?
Yeah, I learned that I'm really glad that I'm really fit because it was hard. And I'm telling you, at the end of the day, I was wiped out. So I'm really glad that I ride my bike and hike and ski and do all those things, and I stay fit because there's no way I could have done it if I wasn't.
Wow. What about, when you look back on your career, like as part of a duo and solo, like, do you have any regrets? Is there anything you would have done different?